All right, everyone, welcome. We're going to get started. It's going to be an amazing conversation today. Basically, talking about the 2024 Mandela Washington Fellowship. So I just need to do some checking to make sure that everything is fine. On Facebook, especially. So just give me a moment. Okay. Facebook is a little bit tricky, and we just need to be sure it's live. Yeah, it is live now. Very good. I just need to make it public. Yep. Okay, that's good. So we're live on Facebook. Very well, so that everyone can join on Facebook. Let me just double check on LinkedIn. If you're joining us from LinkedIn, I think, yeah, that's really good. I've seen that LinkedIn also is working fine, which is really, really great. So, yeah. Yeah. Just a little mic check to make sure that all the platforms are live, and then we're going to get started. Yeah, it's live. I think everyone can see this on Facebook. I'm just gonna share. Okay. Very good. Very, very good. So thank you for joining us, Joseph, on LinkedIn. Let me just double check LinkedIn events. Yeah, it's live on LinkedIn also. I will double check on YouTube, and then we can get started. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think we are going to be waiting for the guest. A friend of mine also that will be joining us today. So, I think he's going to join us in the course of the show. So, which is okay. All right. So I think we are live everywhere. That's really, really great. Yeah. Thank you everyone for coming to this conversation. So at first, it's going to be basically going through what the Mandela Washington Fellowship is all about. And also, after that, introduction to it and some of the experience we've had, and how to actually have a great application, which is the essence of this conversation. So in today's conversation, we're going to be dealing with people who are applying for civic leadership track, and also people who are applying for the public management track, because as you know, Mandela Washington Fellowship has three tracks for leadership. So there is entrepreneurship. So for those who are in entrepreneurship, startup space, any kind of business you're doing. And then the second track is for civic track. So that's for people who are in NGO, like civil leadership, like you work in NGO, any kind of NGO, uh, charity organizations. And then the third is public management. You work for government, parastatals, any, yeah, and any kind of positions like that. So, but today, the application is going to tailor to people who work in NGO and public management for government. Uh, so if you have any questions, if you have entrepreneurship question also, we can answer, because the truth is that a lot of these applications and interlock with each other. So yeah, it doesn't really matter so much. So, but tomorrow we're going to dedicate that to entrepreneurship. So, if you're having a business or you have a business idea and you would love to apply for the fellowship, definitely we are going to be discussing that. So, join us at the same time tomorrow and we have that conversation. So, the first 30 minutes or 15 minutes basically is going to be about the fellowship. So, I'm going to be giving you all of the lowdown about the fellowship. And then I'm going to share some of my own personal experience and how the fellowship have changed my life and have affected me in a positive way. And also from there, we then go to the application proper, the processes, the timeline, and everything like you need to know. Okay, so I will just share my screen a little bit so that I can be able to show you this thing and the websites you need to go. So everything is there. Okay. So okay, somebody's trying to call me. I think it's the hello. Hello. Yeah, sorry guys that happened. Yeah, so it's the second person that is joining us. I'm so sorry for that. I just have to like put him through. It was in a training. Yeah, so because of that, he wasn't able to uh yeah come up on time, but that's okay. So yeah, if you visit the Mandela Washington website, so this is the uh, website itself, www.mandelawashingtonfellowship.com, fellowship.org, sorry. So the websites have like loads of information about the fellowship itself. So we're just going to go through that. So the Mandela Fellowship was a flagship program of the US government. As we know, it was started during the Barack Obama administration. And since then, that was in 2014. And they've had like nearly like 6,500 young leaders from a country in Sub-Saharan Africa. So what you have to look at is that number one, eligibility is that you are from Sub-Saharan Africa. So that's very, very important. And the fellows age also is between the ages of 25 and 35. So and the idea of the fellowship is to give promote innovation and positive impact in their countries and in their communities and countries. So it's for leaders that are doing amazing things, that they're already making changes, they are always creating some kind of impact in their community. So the Mandela Washington Fellowship is just to like uh, is to amplify that work that those fellows are already doing. So that's what Mandela Washington Fellowship is all about. So it's about amplifying the work of fellows. So it's for young leaders between the age of 25 to 35. So that is the age range. And also, you have to be in those countries in Sub-Saharan Africa. So, which I think is important to be in there. So, also, yeah, the age is very, very important. The country is very, very important also. So now let's look at some other things that you need to consider. So there are three tracks, just like we said before. There are three tracks in Mandela Washington Fellowship. So the first one is the business. So people who are going to be working in business, maybe you have a business or you're planning to start a business. So very, very important. And then we have the civic engagement. So you have an NGO also, or you work with an NGO to start civic engagement. And also the third one is the public management. So these are people that work with the government institutions. You can be a civil servant, you can be a politician yourself. So those are three sectors that Mandela Washington Fellowship catered for. And the overview of the fellowship is we have the application process, right? So if we go to this place, I would just want to go through the timeline and how everything works. So the opportunity is 6 week leadership training in the US. So when you apply and then you are selected, you go to the US and you spend 6 weeks with a university or college in the US. So in total, 700 fellows will be selected across the continent. 700 fellows will be selected across the continent. And so those fellows, when they're selected, are then going to a university in the US for 6 weeks. So, and the university you are going to be posted to is going to be depending on the track you actually applied for. So, for instance, I was posted to a business school in Chicago. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. So, where I spent 6 weeks. And then after, if you are in public management, for instance, maybe you work with government, they will post you to a school in line with the track that you applied to. And also, if you're NGO, they'll post you to a school that we align to the training that you need to get. So that is how it works. So the application is currently open. I think it opens on the 4th of August. You see, this is the application selection timeline. So from August 15, applications have been open, and the deadline is September 12th. So and this is how it works. So after this initial application, you submit all your details and everything. We are going to go over that, and we are going to ask questions, and we see how we could help you with that. Okay, let me see. Okay. Okay, yeah, so I want to bring someone in so that okay, so let's have a 1 minute break so I can bring someone in. So sorry. Sometimes when you try, when all these things doesn't uh, come on time, it's become a technical issue. So the guest is finding it hard to join. So if we set up earlier, this would have been avoided. And I can see if it's in here or not. Yeah. So the application, we're talking about the application process and the timeline. So August 15th to September. So that's when uh, okay. Okay, let me share my screen again. Yeah, so September 12th to 2023. So that's when the application is going to close. And then after that, the application is closed. There's going to be time where all of these applications are going to be marked. So they're going to be checked, and I'm going to have another conversation on that, how that procedure is. So what happened is a lot of your applications are going to be reviewed by other fellows. So that is very, very essential. So you should know that. So for instance, if you're a fellow, you're applying for Uganda, your application might be reviewed by another fellow in maybe Mali or in Nigeria, something like that, or in Kenya. So that's how it works. I also have volunteered to review application before. You can imagine we have like 6,500 fellows across the continent. So when new people apply, there's always high volume application. I remember during my period in 2018, we were about 11,000 application from Nigeria, which is like a lot of people. So now imagine now that even the fellowship is much more popular, we can even have much more people in it. So yeah, so that's how it is. So there will be a lot of people. So most of those applications are going to be reviewed by other fellows that have passed through that. So and after that, other people. There will now be the second stage, which is shortlisting of the semi-finalists. So this almost happened in November, you see, in November to January. So semi-finalists will be interviewed by the local US embassy. So if you are shortlisted for semi-finalists, you are going to be interviewed. And then they will invite you, if you are in Nigeria, to the local US embassy in your country or the consulate. That's where they normally do its interview. And then after that, in March 2024, the finalists will be notified. In May, you're going to get your visa and your pre-departure orientation. And in June, you'll be in the United States. So I hope a lot of you guys here will be there. So this is the selection process and criteria. You could go through this uh, stuff and read about it. So we don't need to talk about this so much because we are going to be having more conversation about this and your questions. So, but what you want to understand is that eligibility is between the age of 25 and 35 uh, as at 12th of September. So, and also, if you're an exceptional applicant between the age of 21 and 24, you will also be considered. So, also, you have to have a passport. Please have your traveling passport. If you are applying now and you don't have an international traveling passport, there is still time to September. So quickly go and get your passport. Very, very important because you're going to travel. So you can read, you can write in English. Very, very important. So, and also you are a citizen of all of these countries that are here. Also, very, very important. So, yeah. So I think IOTG have finally joined us now. So you have to look at those countries that you have eligibility in. So very, very key. So to be part of those countries. Okay, so those are the eligibility. Those are what the timeline. But the focus of this conversation today is the first phase, application between this August and September, that is what we are focusing on today. So we want to get you from this application and make sure that you are selected for the interview. So that's the aim of this conversation. How can you go from applying to being selected for a semi-finalist interview in November? So that is the sole purpose of this conversation. And then we are going to start. So if you have any questions, start dropping them in the comments now, so that, because by asking questions is the best way to go about it. And since Ayodeji's just joined now, so it's a fellow from this year. So the reason why I brought him is because I have been a fellow in 2018. That's been a long time ago. It's good to bring someone who have like a fresh idea of the process of how the things have gone, and then you can get more value from him personally. So if you have any question, as at this point, start dropping them in the comment. So from 7:30, that is in 9 minutes time, we'll start answering questions. So Ayodeji, you can unmute now. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay, I lost you just a moment ago, so I wasn't very sure whether you mentioned my name or not. But then I heard, "Can you hear me?" So I can hear you.
All right, so that's really great.
Do I have the floor?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, sure.
Okay, okay. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Peter, Yeni. It's a privilege to be here. Sincere apologies for coming behind schedule. I've been on transit. I was just rushing to get settled on time so I can join. So I could join. Thank you so much. Well,
No worries at
I
all.
think honestly you've given the background on the Mandela Washington Fellowship. Um there's probably nothing more to give in terms of background of what it is, as it is one of those foreign policies program by the U.S. Department of State to try to empower young African youths. It's also like an exchange program. So, the thing with it is that the U.S. Department of State, in association with IREX is International Exchange um, um, program. They organize exchange programs, not just the Mandela Washington program, and they usually work in tandem with the U.S. Department of State. So these are the bodies that created the Mandela Washington Fellowship under the emblem of YALI. YALI is the Young African Leaders Initiative. YALI was created by Obama in 2010, while Mandela Washington Fellowship itself was started 2014, and it's still going now. In fact, there was a time they said everybody was afraid when there was transition from the,
Yeah, I remember.
and they thought maybe President Trump was going to truncate it. But here we are today. Democrats are still ruling, and I feel it's something that would not go down anytime soon, because it's offering a lot of opportunities for Africans, young African leaders, and even Americans for the alumni exchange program. So so that I don't beat around the bush, I will just share my own experience briefly. Sorry, how many minutes do I have to talk?
Yeah, so what we want to do is first share like your general experience in terms of like
Okay.
the fellowship itself. So maybe we have like 5 minutes. This is 1925, so 5 minutes to do that. So and then after that we go into the application process. So the first phase,
Okay. Okay.
applying. So and what is your own experience like applying to the fellowship? But first, let's just have like your overview of the experience, the benefits, and why people should actually be part of this. Yeah, 5 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. The the thing is, the first thing is such a fellowship program, like any other fellowship program, boosts your leadership skills development. Just think about it. Boost your CV. It's a foreign exchange program. Whatever you get, the opportunities, the exposure, the networking experience, those are, career building um um times, career building opportunities that we may not be able to get within the country. So I would say that it adds to your CV, it boosts, it elevates you career wise. So that's the most or the greatest advantage from my own point of view. And the experience of traveling to United States is something that we rarely get, you know, and places us on a platform, on a better platform to even do other programs in the United States, apply for scholarships, you know, maybe in the nearest future we're applying for visa to the United States. The fact that you're a fellow, Mandela Washington Fellow, the fact that you've been to the United States gives you upper hand compared to someone that has not been there. These are testimonies that people have shared. So I cannot overemphasize the advantages,
Mm-hmm.
of being a Mandela Washington Fellowship. And I think it's one of the most popular fellowship programs or exchange programs in the world.
Right now.
It is.
True. True.
Yeah. And there's a lot of Washington Fellowship, and I
Mm.
thought, okay, I would really need to apply for this, But I had this imposter syndrome when I thought 2016 had not done. I thought, what have I really done to deserve this? So
Mm.
I started the application, but I just abandoned it. Forget about it. What have you done? You've always been, by the way, I'm a medical practitioner. I'm into mental health practice. I'm a psychiatrist. So I thought, oh, apart from seeing your patient, giving drugs, doing all those things, consulting, what other thing have you done? So that was what discouraged me. But I thought, okay, but then join YALI online. So I took a YALI course, that's personal growth. I took it, and I started following, Peter's experience, in the fellowship. I That really made a good mark, told me that gave me this boost that one day I may be really opportune to apply for this. So came 2022, I I told myself that this 2023 coming, I need to use my annual leave for something different, something other than going home to rest, something other than you
Mm.
get resting. Like I want to get out of the field of practice and enjoy myself. That was what was in the mind.
Yeah, I think we lost you a little bit. Let's just wait till we're back. Could be network, I think. Yeah. We lost you for a minute. Are you still there? Yeah, so everyone just keep the question coming. Definitely we'll be answering all of your questions one after the other. So we are batching the questions. So just bring all of your questions if you have them. Yeah. Ayodej, we lost you. I think the network was, yeah, I think it's the network. So let's wait for Ayodej should be back for his experience, which is very important. But there is a question here by Shrug Ismail. So she said, I have a non-profit organization. Ayodeji, are you back?
It was
Y-
most likely
Yeah,
internet
I
one.
think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, go
Okay,
ahead.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So let me just wrap up. So I started the application. I read a lot about it, people that have applied, but I didn't
Mm,
allow um bad stories to get me down. What I mean is that when you go online and
Yeah.
search for people's experiences, you hear things like I've applied 5 times, I was not picked.
Mm,
So I didn't allow that to get into me. I was just with a plain mind. If I'm picked or not, I'll be good. But I need to read about what I can do to have a good
yeah.
application. I went on YouTube. I watched Peter's video too on YouTube. He has a video, and I would really love it if Peter could share with us that video. I can
Yeah,
remember
that's
where I
true.
was that day. I was in a vehicle. I parked close to a tree, and I rolled up and I watched the video through.
Sincerely,
You
that
know,
video is one of the most watched
Mhm,
Mandela application video. Yeah, I think every
mhm.
year I see a lot of people watch it. I will definitely share it here
I'm
for
glad.
people
I'm glad.
to be able to
It
take
was
advantage of
long,
it.
but
I will
it
share.
is worth it. It is worth
Yeah,
it. It is worth it. Then there is this guy too that recently you in the UK now. I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah, that was also helpful. A couple of videos, but just for you to know, to have an idea of what they want. Some people tell
yeah,
you that all these help videos may not help them, but the truth is when you have an idea of what they want, you won't go astray when you answer these personal statement questions,
true,
because receive it or not, the way you answer the personal statement questions would actually determine if you'll be picked or not.
true.
So I took my time. Actually, I thought well about things I've done or had done in the last 1 year. I thought about, so I wrote them down on Microsoft Word, all my answers. So towards the end of that, I thought, okay, at this point, let me give it to somebody to vet. I sent it to Peter to also look through, to encourage and all those things. At some point, I was like, okay, this thing, this thing, there are times you would really have some doubts
Yeah,
considering the competitive nature of this, fellowship. So God's willingly, I was able to finish it up, and I submitted a few days to the closing dates. I think a day or a few hours to closing dates,
wow.
the closing time. So, and that was it. And
Yeah.
come we had November, I got a message. Fortunately, somehow I was expecting a message of you you have qualified for the semi-final or not, because they said they're
Yeah,
gonna they met all the
yeah,
timeline. By the way, if they tell you that in the next 2 weeks you will get this, you will get it.
yeah.
So came November, I got a message. I checked my mail specifically to check whether I was accepted or not, and it was congratulations, you have now been selected for the semi-finals. I was so happy in the night. I was like, wow. So I posted on my WhatsApp page status that, wow, this is testimony in advance. You know, so that was
Yeah,
when I started expecting something good from. Since then, I started expecting something. Before then, I was
yeah.
expecting either we accept you or
Oh
we don't
no.
accept you. But
Yeah,
after that time, I was so inspired.
yeah.
So I committed it into God's hands. I was deliberate about it. Then my interview was January. It was also, I had about 5 panelists.
Well,
I will tell you that I've been interviewed severally before. Okay, I've interviewed people before, but this was a different outfit.
it's true. It's true.
I was sweating.
Wow,
But
I
it
can
was
imagine.
it was a virtual one. I ran through several hotels. I'm based in Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria. So I went through several hotels to just look for a good place to sit. And eventually, I came
Yeah.
back to my house because I was
Wow.
not satisfied. And I felt like this background, I hope, is a good one. So those were the things.
Okay. All right. I think
Eventually,
that's
I
great.
thought that, wow. So I had a good background. I was running.
Yeah, I think a network again.
Initially, I had applied for my passport. I never had a passport before I applied for
Okay.
the stuff. So I
Wow.
just applied for it. Everything fell into place, and today it is history.
Yeah. So that's really great. So
Thank you so much.
yeah, for this step, we just want to focus on the initial application. We don't want to go to the I think the interview stage is another stage. So most of the people here are interested in the first phase, which is between August 15 and September 12, which is applying to that fellowship. And what we want to get them to be able to achieve is to get that congratulation you got for your semifinals in the interview also. So thank you very much, Ayodeji, for sharing your experience. Like everybody already know the fellowship is very, very valuable. It's a lot of money spent and invest on individuals to be able to achieve amazing things. So right now we're going to go into the application proper. So, but before we go ahead, there are, I think 2 or 3 questions that are here, that two that we want to answer. So Ismail, she said, I have a non-profit initiative that provides entrepreneurship training. So which track match the most? So does the fact is it not for a profile may disqualify me to business track? Okay, does the fact that it's not for a profit may disqualify me for business track? So I would say that since you have an initiative that is already registered as an NGO, go for this NGO track, civic leadership track. So because NGOs actually offer a lot of different services. NGOs can train people in different things. So that is the advantage of an NGO. So if you provide entrepreneurship training, maybe for women, for young people, for youth, or for mix of other people, so just apply for civic leadership. And the interesting thing is this: after your application, during your semi-finalist, what I call it, your semi-finalist interview, there are some people that they change their track based on the work you're doing. But because you are a non-profit already, they wouldn't want to change your track. But there are some people that apply at business and they move them to non-profit track. There are, I've seen people that apply as a non-profit and they say that, oh, this idea can actually work as a business, and they move you there. So the fellowship look at your application holistically and everything you've done, and they can actually adjust your track for you. But since you have a non-profit business, so I would say that just apply for non-profit. Or what do you say to that, Ayedeji? Can you hear me? That I was just talking about this question that somebody asked. Okay, so there's another question. So by Abraham Lawal. Must you be in YALI presently to be shortlisted? So you don't have to be a YALI member to be shortlisted. You don't have to at all. It's not in the criteria. Even the advantage of Mandela Washington Fellowship is to reach more people. So you don't have to be a YALI member. If you're a YALI member, that could just be like an added advantage. But it doesn't give you like an advantage over any other applicant that you are a YALI member. You understand? So the only thing that is, if you're a YALI member, is that you could get support from other fellows. They can help you review your applications. You know, people review applications. Like I review applications for Ayodeji, for instance, also when he was applying. So yeah, it's very, very possible that you when you're in YALI, and also you see when you're in YALI Network also provide guides like this on how to apply successfully for the application. So you have people in the community that can help you review your application. They can answer your questions. They have like focus group like this that they give you tips and all of that to be able to apply for the stuff. So I have this training that I did some times ago. I think I'm going to restream that uh I think it's about 2 hours or stuff. It's a long time ago, but it was really, really detailed. I just came back from the fellowship at the time, so I was able to give so much information, especially using the power of storytelling to be able to use that to write your application, which is very, very important. Okay. All right. So I think that answer your question. So you don't have to be part of the YALI member to be shortlisted. So let's go through the application itself. So what are the things that you need for these applications? The application is like 2 steps. So we have like the general information, like about you, your CV, your personal informations. Also, so you're asking about could I help review application? So currently I don't review applications. So because number one, I am like very, very busy at the moment. There are a lot of things, yeah, that are going on. Yeah, I have like twins working full time. There's so many things that's there. So, but what I would advise you is that there's Ayodeji is here. So you could just like ask him nicely. He's on LinkedIn. You can send him a message, and also you could just like do a little bit search on LinkedIn. That is something that is interesting. You can search on LinkedIn, Mandela Washington Fellows, and you see that LinkedIn is going to give you a lot of these people. And what you can do is just connect with them. And then, sometimes when you ask nicely, I know a lot of fellows are there, they want to help you. you know a lot of the fellows, they are there, they want to help you. So if you can just like ask nicely, you can connect. Oh, I'm connecting, I would like to have you in my network because I see that you're a Mandela Washington fellow and I'm an aspirant also applying to apply for these 2024 fellows. Can you please to connect? And then they connect with you, and then you can like, okay, I really be grateful if you can help me with reviewing my application. You understand? So, and then they can be able to help. So, if I promise that I'll be able to help with application review, I'll be lying to you because, like, at this moment, my hands are like really, really full with so many things. But there are a lot of people in the community that will be able to help. And if you use this strategy, it's going to help you a lot. So, to be able to help. So just reach out to people. Reach out. There is Mandela Washington Facebook group with thousands of people there. There is always answer questions, and also there is the FAQ on the website. A lot of people don't use that, and it gives you a lot of insight. So go and check the FAQ. Read everything you can read about the applications. You understand, and they will go a long way. Like no information is too much. So get all the information and then filter them and then use it to your own advantage. All right. So let's talk about the application process itself. So do you want to give us like a little bit details into how you go about your I want us to talk about the essay last, but the main application itself, there is CV, there is additional documentations and stuff like that. So do you provide like more information about your work, evidence and things like that? Or what do you think help more?
Okay, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Hello.
Yeah, you're
Okay,
audible.
thank you. I'm struggling with network here. So let me
Yeah.
share something here. Let me just I may not be able to share on the screen, but I have it here. I will just
Okay.
read it out. It was a document I downloaded from the Mandela Washington Fellowship website, which was helpful.
Okay.
It has every question you need, and you can keep going back to the question anytime, whether you're online or you're offline. So, and they emphasize the fact that your CV may or may not, usually may not really put you at advantage uploading your CV, but your
Mm,
CV would help you answer these questions actually. So the is a participant application form. Once you apply for the program, you have the privilege to download this form. So it has segments. The first segment is where you provide your bio data, your first
mhm.
name, your middle name, your given name, last name. They usually insist that you write it the way it is in your international passports.
Okay.
So please take note of that. Then your biological sex as it appears on your passport also. Your country of origin, that is the country you are read out initially. I think you must not be a citizen of United States. You must not have residence permit in the United States.
Yeah.
You must also not have a relative working at, is it the consulate or the embassy? Both of them. I hope I'm correct.
Yeah.
These are
Yeah, I think so
some of
also.
the
Yeah, those are the things that they check. Preliminary
criteria.
check. Yeah.
Then date of birth, country of birth. So they also ask, do you currently live in a national capital city? Yes.
So the
Do you
question
currently
is like, do you provide do you upload a CV during your application and also provide
in
like, did you upload a CV and also provide like additional documents with your application? Yeah, I think it's you break in a little bit. So I think in 3 minutes time we're going to go to the essay itself, and then we're going to have conversation because I think the essay are the most important aspect of the application. So and even though all of the other documents, your experience, your volunteering, yeah. So sorry, we missed Ayodeji, the network. It's bad a little bit. So I think your volunteering is very, very important. Your volunteering, your all of the work you've done, your experience, your CV. Yeah, sometimes they were like, you don't have to like have all of this information. But for me, I felt like giving more information is better than no information at all. So if you have like a lot of information that can actually corroborate with your application, please send it, upload them. So and sometimes people get like some kind of reference. So if you've worked with an organization or with somebody or with government or a consultant or you've done a great stuff and you've win any of you've have a commendation that they can write on your behalf, definitely add all of those things to your application. So because also if you have like any awards, you've won an award, you've got any kind of grants, you've worked, you've gotten any kind of recognition. So not even just for your leadership as at right now, even from your secondary school, like if you're a ed girl, you got some awards, you represent your school in these things, all of these things are part of your leadership uh, stuff because they're looking at what you've done holistically, and also they're looking at what you've done in the past years, right? So uh, your essay is going to focus on your work like in the past year and also for the future, right? What you aim to do. But then what I would say is that additional for uploading of document. So they will give you opportunity to upload documents, I think, after you submit your essays. And then, yeah, because I've gone through the uh, applications a little bit. So, yeah, even though I've not been able to. So let me share this screen. Let's go through this. If I present my screen. Yeah, let me look at that. Yeah, so this is the application space. Okay, So when you register, this is the application instruction. So you have to commit the first section. So the first section is where you general information and your resume section before progressing as information. So yeah, so what they are looking for basically is a proven record of leadership and accomplishment in business or entrepreneurship, civic engagement, or public government service. So, two, a demonstrated commitment to public or community service, volunteering, mentorship. So that's why all of these are very, very important. So if you have done community service, if you volunteer to any organization, if you provide mentoring, you can add all of this information to it. And also, you can even get people that you've mentored to be able to write some kind of review about you. Like, Peter mentored me and is an amazing people. So all of this review, I think there is a way you can add it. So, Ayodeji, I wanted to ask, uh, during your time, are you able to upload additional information?
Yes, I the ones I think they gave size limits. It shouldn't be more than, is it 5 MB?
Uh-huh.
Um yes. But then I uploaded some pictures, some of the pictures of the outreaches, my
Mm-hmm.
volunteer job, some of the radio presentations I have had,
Done. Yeah.
all
So
those strong
Ismail,
points that I described on my
of
personal
application, yeah.
statements.
So you
Those
see
are the
that
ones.
is very, very important. So don't want us to exit 1 hour. We have like 8 minutes now to go. So let's talk a little bit about the essay. What is the 2, 3 points you can give people to be able to write a killer essay? Hello, Ayodeji. Can you hear me? So in the current application,
Am I audible?
yeah, you're audible now. So what
Okay.
is the 1, 2, 3 things you can give to people to be able to write an understanding essay?
Okay. Number one is that generally, the essays are in different. They have different themes, and they will paint scenarios that are clear enough. Some essays can have 3 questions in them. So the point number one I would say that we should take note is that ensure that whatever you're going to write within the word limits, answer the three or two all the questions that are asked in that essay. Make sure you answer them within the word limits. Each answer should be on a paragraph. That is my own advice, so that you don't kill yourself by saying so much on just one question and leaving the rest. Number
Okay.
two is that be sincere and practical as much as possible. Don't
Okay.
write fantasies. Don't write things that would make them think you've gone to Google the response.
Yeah.
Talk about it the way it happened to you, the way you did it. It's your story you're telling. So it shouldn't look like a fallacy. So be real. If you don't have resources to do whatever you've done, put it that way. These were the things you improvised, this was how you carried them out. Then
Okay.
number 3 point is that write your story to touch people. You don't have
Mm,
to be a killer storyteller, but think of something you have done that has touched people.
mm,
Put in your mind, you did something you they are watching out for the impact you have made in any
mm,
specification of those impacts, the statistics part of it. Okay, within the last 1 year, we have impacted 100 lives by providing this and this. You
mm,
have reached out to 1 million people in Kwara State through your radio program. They
mm,
want, those values, realistic values. Even if it is 2 lives, you have provided medical service for 2 people. You get.
mhm. Yeah.
So those are the things they really want to hear you. So in
Yeah.
summary, number one, Like I said earlier on, make sure you answer all the questions, because they are usually in fragment. They will write a paragraph, question one, they will paint a scenario, and they will ask questions in different. So make sure your response tackles all the questions they have asked within that question number. Number
Okay.
two, be practical and real as possible. Tell your story the way it is. And number three,
Okay.
ensure that it is touching, and it's the lives you have touched or the things you have done can be quantified.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ayodeji. I think you've said everything really. I think if
Thank
anyone
you.
doesn't get anything from all of this, the last 5 minutes is the sum of everything. So thank you everyone for coming. Abiel, in the current application doesn't have upload CV. You see, the resume and CV is the first section of your application. All those information you are providing is exactly what is in your CV. You understand? So provide details information there. And then after you finish this section, you write your essay, there will be a section for you to upload additional documents. You understand? So maybe you have not get to that stage yet. So remember, there will be a session to upload additional documents. So very, very important. They will give you that. So thank you, everyone.
Can I just
Yeah,
interject and say one thing?
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Depending on the format this will come this time, I would advise anybody that would upload additional thing not to probably upload your CV. You know why? Like you have said, the first session is already preparing your CV. In fact,
Yeah,
it will print out the PDF like they've just
a
helped you
CV.
worked on your CV. So there is no
Yeah,
point uploading CV again or resume. Just upload
yeah,
something else,
yeah,
pictures, videos that will be within the size limits.
yeah.
Thank you very
So
much.
yeah, thank you very much. And so that's a wrap. So this will be rebroadcast later on every channel for other people that missed it. And it will be live on YouTube immediately also. So thank you so much, Hayodeji. I really, really appreciate it. I know you traveled and stuff. And so I know it's, for me also, I've had several meetings today. But sometimes that is what leadership is all about, right? You just have to like do some of these things. So because
Mm-hmm.
we've received so much,
Exactly.
so and also we have to like give back so much too. So what are the chances of someone under 25 years old getting accepted? So this is a good one. If you are under 25, between 21 to 24, they can consider you, but you have to show exceptional leadership and work you've done. Okay. So I don't want this to pass 1 hour, but know that if you are under 25, demonstrate all your these things you've done and tell them why you deserve to be there. They will take you. Okay. So thank you everyone for joining us. Put your question in the comments. I will be there to respond to them. But at this time, we need to go so that we don't pass 1 hour so that we can be able to rebroadcast this to other people. Thank you, Ayodeji. I really appreciate you for coming. And thank you, everyone that have joined on this live. And also, if you miss anything, join us tomorrow also. It will be an amazing period and where we are going to be talking more on entrepreneurship. So if you want to join that session, join and come with all of your questions. Thank you. Bye.